Nehoma MTV, my name is Christelle Zamora. I'm 29 years old. I am of Nicaraguan descent, and this is my fiance.
Tony. Hola, and I'm 36, and I'm from San Leandro, California.
Tony and I are very excited to get married. We are due to get married on September 4th, 2010. It's been quite a journey for both of us because, like we said, he is of Chinese descent and I am Nicaraguan. So it's been quite a challenge trying to get both of our families to kind of get to know each other and accept each other's cultures. One of the things that we're very excited about our wedding is having our traditional Catholic wedding, which is very important to me. I was raised in a very traditional Catholic family. Tony's a little bit more laid back. His parents are, Chinese and everything, but his grandma is mainly the one that speaks Chinese. However, there still is a lot of Chinese influences in their family. We actually met, here, why don't you tell them where we met?
Oh, okay. So we met at a wedding, pretty much a mutual friend's wedding. Pretty much saw each other from, she actually caught the bouquet that day, right? Mm-hmm. And threw it back. So that's where we pretty much met. It was in California, a mutual friend's wedding. Yeah, and she was raised in a family that is very, very religious, and I'm from a family that is not too religious. So for us to get married in a church does mean something to me. I understand what the meaning is, and being pretty much married in front of God, and having God witness our marriage, and being married in his house. And so that means a lot more to me, understanding and kind of going through the levels of becoming a Catholic.
So for our wedding, we have actually a very, very big wedding. We originally planned we were going to have about 150, maybe like 175 guests. But of course, because, we have really big families, it's slowly starting to grow. So now we have about over 300 guests coming, but it's still very exciting. We're both looking forward to it. We're trying to incorporate some of my traditions, some of Tony's traditions. So from my side of it, being Catholic, that's very traditional for a Latina family. We're probably going to incorporate some of maybe like a Chinese tea ceremony at the church. And we're also maybe thinking about having like some kind of fan dancers come in, Chinese fan dancing. I think that's what you call it. So we're trying to incorporate both our cultures because it's very important to the both of us. However, because my family was born in Nicaragua, I'm first generation Nicaraguan. Tony is third generation Chinese. So mainly it's his grandma is the one that speaks most of the Chinese, but we're still trying to catch on and kind of learn. I'm trying to learn a little bit of Chinese, as well as Tony's trying to learn a little bit of Spanish, and we've been trying to teach each other a little bit about our, cultures, what we like to eat.
I know more Spanish than you know Chinese.
Okay, why don't you show them what you know?
Like what?
Why don't you try? Okay, count to 10, babe.
Yeah, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But who doesn't know that?
That's still pretty good.
You learned that from Dora, right?
Yeah, but still. And so I'm trying to learn a little bit of Chinese. So I've been trying to learn how to count to 10. However, it's much harder for me because Chinese is totally different than Spanish. So, okay, I'm going to try. Okay. Yat, yi, some, say, look, chat, bat, gao, sup.
Yeah.
So it's a lot harder. The accent's a lot harder for me, but I'm trying to learn because it's very important for our children eventually someday when we have them, for them to be aware of both our cultures. I'd like to say that we're both very outgoing. We're very friendly. We have a lot of friends, and they're all very important to us. What else, babe?
How about like all the food influences that I've shown you?
That's true. We have a lot of food influences.
She didn't know what dim sum was. how to use chopsticks. She really didn't know how to use chopsticks when she.
No, I didn't.
But
I used to try to like stab all my food with chopsticks, and then slowly I started learning how to actually like grip them with 2 hands and stuff. So I've come a long way.
So.
And then actually Tony wasn't very fond of like going out and eating like a lot of the Spanish foods that he wasn't very accustomed to.
I love burritos and tacos.
But that's not really like traditional. So I remember one time we went out to eat and he had pupusas and he was just like did not understand really like what it was, and he didn't really like the masa. And so like now he's kind of learning like about my culture and like the foods and stuff. He likes it more. He likes all food. But so yeah. that was something that was kind of, you know, hard for us at first to get used to. And also our families, well, as far as for me, my family's kind of pressured me to get married because I'm 30. And so in my culture, when you're 30, you should already be married. You should already have a family, be established. And so it was a little bit hard at first, trying to let my parents know that I hadn't found the right person until now. And I think Tony also had the same pressure from his family, being 36.
Yes, definitely. I mean, my mom would always like, you know, even if I wasn't married, when are you gonna have a baby? Or I'm like, I'm not even married yet. So I had a lot of pressure also.
Yeah, so now that we found each other, we're looking forward to someday having a family, but first we want to have this big wedding and have all our family and friends join us and celebrate this big event with us. So we're really looking forward to it, and we're hoping that maybe you guys can join us and witness it all. So obviously, because we're from different cultures, me being Nicaraguan and Tony being Chinese, we do have a little bit of differences. The first example I can give you is when my mom first came over to our house, she was a little taken back at the fact that she had to take her shoes off, and she thought it was so awkward because I guess, you know, in a lot of Chinese homes, when you come in, and probably a lot of Asian homes, you usually have to take your shoes off, and my mom thought it was so awkward that she had to remove her shoes to come inside the house, because in our home and a lot of our family homes, we don't ever have to do that. So she was just like, what, Mija, I have to take my shoes off? And so getting my family to understand some of Tony's culture is a little bit hard at times, but I think they're slowly starting to get it and kind of accept it and warm up to the idea of, you know, us having different cultures.
Also, pretty much there's a language barrier definitely between our parents. You know, my parents primarily speak English, but her parents speak more Spanish and have like broken English.
They speak Spanglish.
Yeah, so for them to try to understand each other at times, sometimes there needs to be like an interpreter like you that'll kind of clean up the English a little bit sometimes. So at times we kind of feel like there's like a little barrier, and sometimes they have to have like really quick and simple conversations, and it can't get too detailed because it gets kind of complicating.
Yeah. So. Oftentimes my mom will sit there and I can tell she's like not understanding a word what people are saying, but I have to kind of sit there and kind of make sure like things are going right and that they're understanding, especially my dad. My dad really doesn't speak very good English. My mom speaks a little bit more, but my dad's really not that good, so we kind of have to be there to make sure that things are going right and that they really know what's going on.
Yeah.
The other thing that is kind of weird is when we first started dating, we would go out to restaurants and Tony would take me to places that I had really never tried. So one time we went to eat dim sum and I didn't even know what that was. So he took me out and I was very skeptical because I had never had the food before. And a couple was sitting next to us and they had these kind of like, they were like feet, right? I think like you guys eat feet, and I thought it was
chicken feet.
It was so disgusting. And I remember like I don't even really eat meat, and it was so gross to like see that, and I couldn't believe he took me because he knew that I didn't really like it.
How about the time you tried to eat quail?
Yeah.
Or you were like, I'm not having that bird on my plate.
It was so disgusting. So that was also very hard for me to get used to at first. But Tony loves dim sum, and it's something that he likes to have in the mornings, and I absolutely hate it at first. But I'm slowly starting to learn how to eat it, and I'm actually getting better with my chopsticks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So that's something that Tony's taught me. how to use my chopsticks finally. So soon I'll be chinita. We are actually at our home now, and we kind of wanted to just kick off our shoes and welcome you as we talk about how we got engaged, because it was actually very special the way Tony decided to do it and the amount of time that he put into it. So we're going to let Tony kind of talk to you about how he did that.
Well, I do a lot of magic tricks for her. I want to try to make it special. I asked her how, if she wanted to see a magic trick. We kind of went over to our favorite spot and kind of made her feel like, you know, it's just a regular magic trick. It's like a new one I was doing. And so what I did was I ended up showing the box to her and making a penny disappear and reappearing in the box. And when I gave her the key to open it up, the penny had reappeared and a ring. Which was really sweet, I thought, because he put a lot of time into it. So this is actually the box that he used, and inside is the penny. I decided to keep it, and the keys that he used to have me open the box. So this is the magic penny that he used, and he made it disappear. And then inside the box was the penny, as well as my diamond ring. So it was really sweet. When I opened up the box, I looked up. Inside was the penny, the ring, and Tony was down on one knee and asked me to marry him. So it was very sweet because I love magic tricks and they never get old. So it was a very nice way for him to do it. And that was it. And I said yes, and the rest is history. So both of us have pretty much been influenced by each other's cultures, and I've taught her, as much as she's taught me, I've taught her a few Chinese dishes that I've learned from my father. He used to be a Chinese cook at a restaurant, so pretty much taught me different kinds of Chinese dishes, and I've taught her a few. Pretty much, I mean, they're pretty authentic, right? They are pretty authentic. And I had a hard time trying to learn at first, but I think I'm getting better. So it's worked out well. I'm trying to like teach him to do some things, but he's not that good at like flipping tortillas, and he doesn't like the beans as much. Like, I can have beans every single day with every meal. I don't know about every day. I can have it, but not every day. See, he can't have beans every day. I can have beans every day. I mean, there was a time where we actually had like Asian food, and then like I was really craving beans, so like we had like Asian food and beans, and we kind of just like combined both our cultures. But that's what it's all about. It's just making sure that both our cultures are being combined every day. I actually think that we be good for Quiero mi boda. And Tony, can you pronounce that? Quiero mi boda. Because we're really fun and we're really outgoing, and we're gonna have a huge ceremony, a huge wedding. The reception is gonna be so much fun. Not to mention it's open bar. Yeah. I think we'd be great for TV. What do you think, babe? Oh yeah, I think we're perfect. I mean, you know, it's us in a nutshell. So like what, 6-7 minute video, us in a nutshell. That's right. So make sure that you guys choose us. Thank you for your time.